Hi, darling. Today I want to share with you the time traveling game. I'm calling it the time traveling game. It's also a thought experiment. It's also a really non-traditional mindfulness practice. I think it can be a really quick, playful, and imaginative way to slip into a state of deep awareness, presence, appreciation, and hopefully wisdom too. Oh, by the way, I don't know how I came up with this game, but it was something I just started playing in my mind. And when I saw the movie In Time, if you haven't seen In Time, go watch it. Very, very sweet movie. It really, I don't know, it really sealed it for me. It really sealed the possibility of living your life as if it's the second time, and how that changes everything. Sometimes doing this practice can bring up emotions. It can be intense, usually in a really good way, but if you are feeling tender for any reason, you might want to consider pausing or coming back to this video on a different day. Let's get into it. So this is how we play the time travel game. Get comfy and let's get ready to practice together. Imagine that you are in the last chapter of your life and you're thinking back and you're sort of reviewing your life. And as you do, you choose to travel back in time to relive, re-experience a day or maybe a moment of your life. As if you get a chance to crawl back into a memory and relive it anew. Maybe think of a day this week or maybe a moment. Choose one day to return to. It might even be this very moment here together or some moment leading up to this. So for the purposes of this practice together today, maybe choose a day that is either neutral or pleasant in its feeling tone. So nothing too difficult that you're going to relive. Maybe even a completely ordinary day might be a good place to practice. So we are imagining that we have the capacity and power to time travel from this last chapter of our lives to this moment that you've chosen, this day. And as you're ready, arrive back in your chosen moment on this day that you choose. Now, as you arrive in this day, in the past, this memory that you're re-experiencing again, as if you're living it out again, notice what it feels like to be back here, knowing what you know from the other side. So if you've picked an ordinary day, even with mundane moments, notice how it feels to be here for it and to be moving through the tasks and the moments of the day. And remember, this is a day far in the past that you've chosen to come back to. So you haven't been in this place for some time. There may be objects, situations, landscapes even, and people that are familiar to you that you maybe haven't been close to in a while. So really get a sense of what it's like to be back here. Notice if it feels different this time around, this second time. There might almost be a sense of novelty. There's an intentionality. You chose to be here. So you might be noticing things more. There might be a sharpness to your awareness. You might really notice the light, the sense of space, the sounds, the colors and shapes and textures of things. You may be more present than you have before. Let yourself really be here for it, and give yourself time to experience it. Now, even if it is a really ordinary, neutral, mundane, regular day in your life that may have irritations, small difficulties, or just the things that used to bother you, notice if any of that lands differently now. If there are people in this memory that you've returned to, there may be parts of them that used to annoy you, for example. And is it different now being with them? And by the way, if it feels appropriate, you might really notice what it's like to be back with people who are no longer in your life. What is it like to be in their presence? And what are you noticing about them now? Without forcing yourself to have any special or profound experience, just really let yourself relax into presence in this place. Really let yourself move through the motions of the day. You might even start at the beginning of the day, move through the regular tasks, waking, dressing, getting ready, any interactions, any habitual daily tasks. And you might choose to focus on a particular part of the day, a particular moment that you want to return to. Because you've been here before, and this is a re-experiencing, a reliving, a second time around, notice what is different in this second experience. So remember, you've lived all this before. You know what's going to happen, but you're reliving, you're going through it again. Is there a different quality to your presence, to your awareness? Because you've been here before and you know what will happen next, maybe there's a little bit less of a sense of control or trying to really do anything. Maybe there's a little bit more softness. Can you feel that in the body? Can you feel that in the breath? Can you feel that even in the facial expression? You're really there to experience. There's an intention behind your presence here. Because there's been some time that's passed, there might be a quality of spaciousness. There may or may not be a renewed sense of appreciation for things. If there were problems or difficulties in this phase of your life, you may have a different perspective now. You may be being with it all in a different way. Maybe with a wider perspective, maybe with more compassion and tenderness. If there are any moments in this day where you do have to make choices, would you make the choices any differently, even if externally the day unfolds as it had the first time around? Can you notice any difference with the way you respond? The way that you approach decisions, moments, interactions? Where do you choose to pay attention? It might be different this time. Maybe there is less rushing through the day. Maybe there is a slowing down, because in a way, you are a time traveler. You are a tourist in this moment. How does that feel? Again, bringing attention to how it feels in the body. Notice your breath. Notice this quality of presence, however it is. And if it is a little bit more attentive or awake or appreciative or spacious or warm or softer, if it's anything like that that you are appreciating, can you really let yourself feel it fully, relax into that felt sense, and let yourself soak it in for a little while longer? Give yourself the time right now to really become familiar with this way of being and the possibility of being in this way, whether you're time traveling or not. So here we can really get familiar with this way of being, and we can bring that into all of the moments of our life. In a way, being the witness, letting there be this spaciousness, this wakefulness, and really noticing the preciousness and the sacredness of these moments. Give yourself a moment now to conclude the experience, to maybe gently say goodbye and return. If you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for trying on this practice. Maybe a new way to practice presence. So I love this game. I call it a game. I don't know. I love this so much. I do it often. And it is one of the fastest ways for me to slip into a place of peacefulness. And again, spaciousness is a really good description for me. There is this capacity to be non-reactive, to be appreciative, and to be really fully awake for these moments when we're being with them in this way. For me personally, this is my North Star. This is everything I aspire to be is really embodying this wise perspective. So I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you tried it in real time with me. Let me know if you try it later and how it feels for you. I'd love to know if you have any little mental games or reframes or unusual practices that help you. And if you did make it this far, and if you are still here with me, know that I love you and I mean it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.